Alaska. That's right, that's where I was born, that's where I grew up. If you're wondering why I don't look like an Eskimo, it's because you are racist. I always love that comment. I'm like, you're really from Alaska? Wow, you're pale for an Eskimo. Well, you're from California, you're pale for a Mexican. Let's move on now. To be honest, I don't know if you guys know this, Alaska has the biggest gender gap of anywhere else in the United States. And in Alaska, men actually outnumber women by almost 10%. It's true. Women up in Alaska even have a saying about it. They say, in Alaska, the odds are good, but the goods are odd. That's what they say. Men have their own saying. It's, your chances are slim, and the women, not so much. Get a lot of people ask me, like, what do people from Alaska really like? And I always have to explain that they're pretty much like anywhere else in the country. Most people from Alaska are just rednecks. They are just rednecks of the north. I mean, you ever wondered why they still have dog sled racing in Alaska? It's because that's what rednecks do when it's too cold for NASCAR. In fact, I think that's why hockey is so popular up in Alaska. Hockey is the perfect substitute for NASCAR when you think about it. I mean, the kind of people who like watching NASCAR just so they can see a car get into a big fiery crash, or the same kind of people who like watching hockey just so they can see two guys get into a bloody fist fight with each other. Look at hockey, it's covered with ads, just like the cars are in NASCAR. I mean, the only difference between the two sports is that in hockey, the players have mullets and are missing teeth. And in NASCAR, those are the fans. And by the way, I do realize how dangerous it is to do that joke here in Tacoma. I just figured if any NASCAR fans try to chase me after the show, I can just turn right. So I like Vegas. You see things in Las Vegas you don't see in any other part of the country. That is the only town where I have walked into a bar and seen a dispenser machine that sold pregnancy tests. I mean, they have that in a bar, and like you, my first thought when I saw that was, isn't that something you should find out before you go out drinking? Is there really a woman out there who just says to herself, you know what, if I have to pee on a stick, I might as well wait until I have to break the seal. Can you imagine having to explain that story to your kids someday? You're like, oh, what was it like when you found out you were pregnant with me? You're like, well, the first thing I did was put down my beer. Then I had to call a taxi because I was in no condition to drive home. Anyways, 5 months later, you were born. There's a guy in Las Vegas who told me he was a professional gambler. Don't remember that job on career day. I like the sound of it though, right? Professional gambler. It sounds so much better than saying you're homeless. What kind of denial are you in? Like, I don't have a gambling problem. I am a professional gambler who happens to be a workaholic. You can't do that with other vices, right? You're like, I'm not a drunk, I am a bartender who likes to bring my work home. I'm not a slut, I am a prostitute who gives out free samples. You can't do that here. People are really cynical about marriage nowadays. Like, you're like, don't get married, man. Marriage is a failed institution. Half of marriages end in divorce. People have heard that stuff. It's true. Half of marriages end in divorce. What you never hear, though, 80% of people who get married never get a divorce. The only reason the divorce rate is so high is because people who do get divorced, on average, get divorced 3 or more times in their life. So it's not that marriage is a fail, it's substitution. It's just that some people really suck at it. And they're screwing up the curve, okay? And I'm not saying that if you've been divorced, that means you're a bad person. I'm just saying if you've been divorced 3, 4, 5 times, maybe it's you. I'm not worried about me and my wives. We're very compatible with each other. We are. I mean, for example, my wife likes to talk after sex, which is great because, as it turns out, I talk in my sleep. Yeah, we'll be back. You women get too self-conscious about your bodies. I know this because of the crazy stuff you say to us men that makes absolutely no sense. How many guys in the room have been in this situation? You're with a woman for the first time in the bedroom. She says something really crazy like, I don't want to take my shirt off. Is that okay? I have small breasts. Okay, well, guess what? I still want to see that. Has ever gone out on a date with a woman. And afterwards they went back to that woman's place. And that man saw that woman take her clothes off in front of him for the very first time. No man here has looked at that woman and gone, oh. My house by a guy named Jesus. I'm not making that up. Jesus delivered a pizza to my house. He may have pronounced the name Jesus, but the name tag read Jesus. I know, I thought that was a little weird. Mostly because my single order of breadsticks ended up feeding 50 people. See, that's a Bible joke. If you didn't get it, it means you're going to hell. I can't really catch myself. I haven't read the Bible either because I'm Catholic. And so I was raised a very strict Catholic. Very strict. Like the church I went to growing up had an Irish priest. It was that kind of Catholic church. I even remember the priest's name. It was Father Pat O'File. And was looped the other way. And, I do think we should be able to laugh about religion. Does anyone else here ever wonder if Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses ever get into holy turf wars with each other? Like religious gang fights between solicit on the east side. Just imagine the Mormons doing drive-bys on their bicycles. Instead of drive-by shootings, though, it's drive-by baptisms where they just throw water balloons.